Okay, if you're just joining us, we are working on I Dream in Color. This is a freebie and it can be found at coloringpagesbliss.com. This is done by Jennifer Stay. Beautiful little piece of art here. We have already done her face. You can see where it's a little darker up in here where her hair overlaps. And then we've done the neck and the hands. Now, if you've missed that, go back and please find video 1. And yes, the video, if you're catching it as soon as I uploaded it, it's playing upside down. That is something I'm working on. It just takes a while for YouTube to go in and flip that back around upright. So not going to be a problem with this one. I am not real sure. But anyway, all right, we are going to make her, let's make her dark haired. Why not? Just because. So I come in, you know what? We're going to make her lighter haired. I think the last one I did was darker haired, wasn't it? I don't even remember. Okay, we're going to pull, you know what? We're going to make her a redhead. We have yet to do red hair. So let's pull chestnut. When you do red hair, just like when you do any other hair, you're going to build from the bottom up and you're going to start with your darker colors, okay? And as you do your layers coming up, then the hair is going to take on the other colors that way. All right, so 1081. Maybe I should pull my colors first, but I know some of you love to see how I do that. Now I'm going to keep that right there so that I know anything else I pull has to kind of go with that. Oh, look, we're getting a little more reds there with henna. So, yeah, I think we're going to do that next. I think we're going to grab henna, and that's 1031. Sorry, I'm looking everywhere for these because my colored pencils are not in order anymore. So I would suggest that you try to keep your pencils in some sort of order according to your card so that as you're flipping around you can look and see what the color was before that you used, and then they will be in order. Okay, so I'm going to find henna in a minute. And then let's see what else would be good, because I do want her to be an orangey redhead. I like that Crimson Lake. And when you're doing the different shades, you're going to do them a little bit apart from each other, meaning that we're going to have space, and that's when the different colors are going to show through. I'm sorry, reaching across you. And then she's going to have some highlights. Maybe those could be the actual crimson red. So here now we have several shades. Okay. And I think those will do pretty nicely. And if we need to add more, we can always come in here and add more. Okay. That's not really a problem. Now, which one did we not get? I think it was henna that we missed. 1031. Okay. So then coming over here and looking for 1031. Have you spotted it already? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Then we're going to come over and write our colors down. I like to write them down in order from the darkest to the lightest, just because that helps me keep them in an order. We said chestnut would be first. That's 1081. Then would be the henna, 1031. And what this is going to do is just put down a good base coat. Then we'll come in with our Crimson Lake, 925. That's the next lighter. And then that lightest one was Crimson Red, which is 924. Okay, so light to dark. As I pull them in and out now, I don't have to really look at the color. I can just go for it. Now, on her face, I actually did the darks first, and generally I will do the darks last. This time I have to do the darks first because I want to build to the light. Okay, so it's as if you're in the basement and walking up the stairs and the light is off. It's going to be darkest back in these crevices, and as you come out, it's going to get lighter. Okay, so this is her hair that is laying behind her. It is going to be darker. Okay. This is also a time when, if you would like, you have the freedom to go up and down with your strokes or curled with your strokes, and we will do that more as we get going. Right now, I'm trying to put in all of the darkest, which is anything that's tucked under something else. See, it's under her head, it's under this curl, and it's probably next to that other stroke of hair or layer of hair there. But so you may or may not want to do that line. I find it useful when I'm doing hair and it's tucked back behind her, that when you get to that very back section, to go ahead and do the whole thing. Just because it's so far back, we want to really just push it to the back. Okay, so that's all underneath. This is underneath. See how it's coming down? So let's do that. This is sticking out from under this. So let's go ahead and do it. Now, if you're into doing the streaks, this is what I was talking about by doing streaks. Okay. Be sure that you are going the direction of the hair or of that curl. And I am going to go ahead and lightly go over all this because I just want that darker and I want it pushed to the back. Okay, same thing here. This is all underneath this. Does that make sense? And this is just a dark piece that's down underneath. So as we do this, pulling it down, getting lighter as we come out. Do you see how it's already got that red cast to it? So when you're picking your bottom layer, those browns, make sure it's not a chocolatey brown. You want to make sure it's a brown that has some red in it. So think of Big Bad Wolf and the Three Little Pigs, the brick house, brick red. Yeah, you're going to do more things like that. Okay, so we're just trying to get under all the little edges. And we'll see if we finish our hair in 30 minutes or not. I make no promises on this. Just make sure that you're getting a lighter touch as you come out. It's going to be just so much easier to blend later if you'll set that up for yourself right now. Okay, doing some circles here just to make sure that that really is darker. And this here needs to be darker than what's on top of it. Okay, we don't want it to be the same shade. Okay, is that making sense? I hope so. We're not going to put a lot of dark up here because it is the top and it's where the light would be shining. Be back there at the base. Okay, underneath is all of this. See how the other curl is laying on top of it? So all this gets a little bit darker because it's underneath that curl. And we're going to pull this way. And there's just not a good way to do hair quickly. It's several layers of color. Have you ever noticed how some people, and I was like this when I was in school, the hair is so dark, black, that it almost looks blue? Yeah, you can, when you're doing hair that's black, if you choose to do that, you can even make a little bit of blue in it. Yeah, just adds another layer of color. And that's lighter there. It's going to be darker here. Yeah, that's right, because this one's on top. Good job. Good job. The more you understand that, the more dimensional your coloring pictures are going to be. Now I'm going to leave this here the lightest because it is in the very front. But, okay, I've got to turn it so it's comfortable for me. I am going to add some right here. I'm going to keep it really light. The reason I'm doing that is because I want this to pop and be lighter. And see, like, this is going to be a shiny area. This is going to have a little bit of shine to it. And if I don't put some here, then this will no longer be a shine. So I've got to put a certain amount in there. Now see how that pencil's getting flat in that one area? I usually rotate my pencils to try to keep a point on them. It's easier right now to keep this lighter with no marks, no very defined lines, if I can keep it with that flat part down. Okay? I will pick another time to roll the pencil and get a point to it. Not this time. Okay, as we're coming on around, this is underneath. So this is basically all going to get that shading, just because it's such a small area. Same thing here. Okay, this is all going to be dark, just like this was. Just because she's laying on it, it's back behind her. And I have not colored this page before coloring it with you. So if this doesn't look right, oops. So you may want to watch it through once, then go back and color it. Okay, a little bit darker up in here. Just makes it look a little bit more recessed. Pushed back, down in the basement, up in the attic, however you want to think about that, that helps you. Okay, you just want it to look tucked behind. Okay, this is on top of this area, so this is going to have a little more in it. Okay, and then we're going to fade that out so it's not hard to blend in a minute. Then down here, that's tucked under the covers, so the covers may be leaving a little bit of a shadow on it, so we'll do that. This is all underneath these, so let's get a little bit of shading put on here. And I do watch the time on my videos so that I'm not just dragging it out. This is underneath this, but at the same time, I would rather do the hair in 2 settings than to fly through it and lose somebody along the way. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I want you to actually understand what we're doing and why. I'm just deepening those up a little bit. Right here, this is under this. Just a little, but a little counts. Getting lighter as I come out. Okay, that is our first color. Took me 15 minutes. Well, we also took some time picking colors and sorting through my mess. All right, so that was 1081. Now I'm going to go on to 1031. There's not going to be a huge difference in these colors, I don't think, but just a little. So what I'm going to do is continue coming out some. And now I'm going to leave those streaks that I talked about earlier. And I'm also going to run it back up into what I did before. All right, can you see how streaky that is? I think you can see that. Let me just bring it up. Okay, I'm going to put a little more on there, but we do want to leave a lot of the white showing through. And if we get streaks in it now with our pencil, we're okay with that. Because if I'm doing this the way I see it in my head, which may or may not be true, we should end up with some nice color variations by the time we get to that top layer. It's another reason we've chose so many different shades of red. So we're making a redhead. Redheads are not always easy to do. Okay, left it very streaky. Gonna tuck a little red in there, tuck a little here. And no, it's not red, you're right, it is henna, but we're using it as red. So we just want to make sure we use all the colors in all the places so that her hair is well balanced. What you use in one place, you want to use in another. If you're on the Facebook group, Coloring Books Keep It Clean, and you're doing this, please share, because they always look different. Now, I still want to keep this a little bit lighter here for a shine, and as I go over it, it should kind of automatically do that because we didn't go over it with that first color. Okay, getting that color in there. And then making sure that I pull it down into this shadow area. And then it's good that we've still got a lot of light in there. Leave more light in there and it will help you to have a highlight. Okay, I'm going to turn a little. So when you're coloring yours, you turn it to how it's comfortable for you. Okay, leaving more white in there, but then getting this over that base color that we used. Leaving it some streaky. All right, same thing here. And if we find we need more of this added in because those reds are just too bright in a little bit, we can still do that, okay? We can still come back in and layer because there's so much tooth in the paper and we're not covering it, then the paper's still going to accept using more of the other colors. Okay, she's just very streaky right now, okay? Going the direction that the hair would have grown. Doing all these little areas real quick. And you know, some people are like, oh no, she's banging down on her pencil, it's going to break. You know, I don't have big breakage problems with my pencils. I don't know if I'm just lucky that way or what. And I don't bang on them a lot like this. It's just you can hear it because of the motion I'm making. And that's how I'm getting it streaky. But I'm probably not banging down as hard as it sounds like I am. So there's a lot of tooth and paper, so it may take quite a bit here to cover all the white. But again, I don't always mind that the white is showing through. Okay, I just don't. There we go. 20 minutes in, we can do this. Leaving it somewhat streaky. That's how the next color is going to be able to really start showing up and popping. I want to leave a little bit of white area up here so that when we come in with that next color, it's going to be able to show up more too. Because that flip is on top. Let's get some of this color down in here. She should already start looking like a redhead to you. Okay, now I'm coming in with that next color. 925? Yeah, 925. This is Crimson Lake. All right, this is where it's going to start telling if we're doing it right or not. Still keeping in those strokes that go the direction that the hair is growing. Wish my hair looked this good when I was in bed. I'm one of those people that I wake up in the morning and if my hair is short, it's sticking out all over. And when it's longer, it's not as bad. And see, because we put so many layers back here, that is already self-shading for us and making it look like it's underneath, which is exactly what we wanted. So doing that first dark really helped you put in your shadows so that you're not having to come back and work on that really hard later. Be honest with you, I think this is my first ever redhead. Yeah, just not something I do a lot. I love red hair though. I think it's gorgeous. We were in school, Karen and Terry, sisters. They had gorgeous red hair. Yep, tuck a little in there, tuck some in here, tuck it in here. Hair is one of the most forgiving things to color to me, because as long as you're going the direction of the hair, you can be more streaky with your coloring and it doesn't matter. Because I don't want this smooth. You see that? Okay, we're at almost 25 minutes. I really wanted to finish this. in one sitting, but we will see. Yeah, this is the only time you'll see me do these big long strokes like this. Probably. Is in hair. I want to get to the tips and the edges. Okay, I am going to go ahead and go to my lightest color, or my brightest red. I'm doing the top areas of the curls and then around a little bit, because that's the area that would be the brightest. Does that make sense? Now on here, remember where that shine was? I'm going to be sure and get all across that area. And see, it's not a in-your-face shine. It's just I'm a little bit lighter area shine. And if you wanted that to show up even more, what is this pencil? This is Poppy Red. It's 922. It's got a little bit of orange in it. But look how it just made that area pop a little more. Okay, that curl on top, this curl on top, this curl on top. So let's add that to our list, 922, 922. Okay, so if this times out, you're just going to keep going. All right, I'm coming back to my 925. And I'm adding that bit of red in everywhere. Okay. Just making sure that what's in one place is in all the other places. Same thing we did over here. We're not doing anything different. We're not doing any new shading. We've already done that. We did that with the first two layers that we put in. Okay. Okay, I've got to turn. Okay, we're at 29 minutes, so I am going to keep working on this. If this times out, just keep doing what you've been doing. You've got this. You know what we're doing. Just keep coming around. Okay. Make sure you've got the color tucked in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop. Should I? You want me to? I'm afraid that when it times out, some of you are going to be like, oh, but I don't know how to do those last two highlighted areas. and I don't want you to get lost in it. So what I'm going to do is try to watch my phone. No, we're just going to stop. We're going to make it easy. We're going to stop here, and then we'll come back in a minute and finish this up with the hair. So come right back.